Hi everyone, Lorraine Zugula here, People and Culture Head at Akili TV.
Hi, Lorraine.
Hi, Jesse.
I'm Jesse Soleil. I'm the president and co-founder of Akili Network, Akili TV.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
For another
Welcome
amazing
back to you, too.
conversation.
And we have an amazing, esteemed guest here. I'll let him introduce himself.
Yeah, thank you for having me. My name is Amos Ngahu, a financial coach, an author, a father, a basketballer,
Wow.
an enabler. Yeah, for now, let's work with that.
Amos, who's your basketball team?
I've played in the Premier League here
Okay.
for Lions. Now I play for an old school team, former ballers,
Nice.
called Ulster.
All right.
Yeah. But they call me Steph Curry, if you know what I mean.
My
How's
goodness.
that layup, man?
No, I used to shoot
gosh.
bricks when I could fly,
Yeah.
but I no longer fly, so I know nothing but net.
Who can verify that information?
Yeah.
Just Google it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have enough Wi-Fi.
Amos, nothing but that. Yeah.
Okay, great. And our conversation today is around black tax, or even just navigating the money conversations amongst families. And this is people with children and with your parents. You have parents and you have children, and the financial conversations are usually important, and at least we're getting to a point where we're actually having these conversations and talking about it. So I think we'd actually want to know what has been your journey and how did you get here where you're speaking about such like conversations.
Interesting. Actually, my background is not finance; it's marketing.
Okay.
And I'm a firm believer of everything is meant for a purpose.
Yep.
So the earlier you discover why you're there, I know sometimes it sounds like a cliche, because you will find that you're trying so many things. Have you ever tried something? You know you're more qualified than the next person, but they're thriving in it. But if you dare try, you fall face first.
Yeah.
So that's the purpose. That's the whole intention of finding purpose. So I have tried so many things.
Okay.
But I stumbled in what I do because I got somewhere and I was in sales in one of these financial institutions. And you'd see people being rushed to make a decision. But then when they pull out, they lose their money. Why? Because life happens. You'd find someone has a new family, someone has new commitment, so they would fall off the investment and lose money. So I started the conversation of, before you start the investment, can we look at affordability? Can we look at your goals? And that's how the journey started. I'm doing now, 18 years now. But in that journey of 18 years, there have been ups and downs. And the downs have really been down. Have you ever hit rock bottom, then you realize rock bottom has a basement?
Oh my goodness.
So that's where I've been. So for me, I think it's been a very exciting journey.
Yeah.
In helping people just relate better with their finances. I have made losses, I've recovered. So also the new financial goal I'm teaching people is how to find contentment. Yeah, because stuff will happen. Soon I keep telling my clients, some of you will be billionaires before me.
Yeah.
Some of you might lose everything. So you must prepare for all this season. So it's been an exciting journey, learning hard. But for me, what excites me is when I meet strangers. They're like, okay, I've watched your content.
Yeah.
A total stranger, that builds me up. I like what you shared because I was going through the same and I sailed through. So it's quite an exciting one.
That's so interesting. So you ended up there. It was marketing, then ended up in financial institutions. So now you're talking about finances.
It's a whole marketing I did later. I actually graduated, was it last year? First degree from Strathmore.
Oh, wait.
So I
your
started-
first degree. So,
First degree,
okay.
yeah.
So
All the
before
others
then?
I've been doing was short courses.
Ah.
The School of Hard Knocks, actually literally the School of Hard Knocks, because I was in a construction site.
That's why. Oh my
I
goodness.
knew I liked this guy.
Just a fan believer. You don't necessarily have to get a degree.
Yeah.
Just get the knowledge and the know-how.
You just go.
Yeah, you just go.
with it. And
Yeah, so that has been my journey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I feel like there's a lot more to talk about, but just to start us off then, is then if I'm a young person, right? And I am young.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting
Just a
married.
baby.
Yeah, I'm getting married
For the
soon,
seventh
and
time.
one of the things that we have talked about is, for example, my family and his family is we both maybe contribute in one way or another, but now we're going to have joint finances. So going right off the bat is how does that look like for your seasons in life is shifting. How do you handle that shift, even money-wise?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. And now we are getting to the sensitive part, so I'll ask our
We're going to
viewers.
get right into that sensitive part.
No, we'll actually ask anybody to raise their hand and promise to forgive us.
Yep.
Because it's a very sensitive issue.
Yep.
Because people come in with scars, people come in with wounds, people come in with successes. A whole bag, so you have to unpack. I keep telling people, and it's good that you're getting married. Congratulations in advance.
Thank you.
And he can concur with me. Marriage does not go, things don't go wrong. It starts wrong.
True
Jesse.
True? True?
Yeah.
If you don't have conversations and you go in with assumptions because I love this person, then until you unpack what this guy has been carrying. Case in point, my wife was raised up in a family. Sometimes even school fees is paid in advance for the whole year. On the contrary, we are 4 siblings. My dad would remember you're going to school a day before, but give you bus fare, and he says he'll come and talk to the teacher. So he'll remember when you've been kicked out because of school fees.
Yeah.
So what does that teach you? You begin to be casual. You're no longer afraid of lack of money because really, I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
And that is why you'll find in such families, when the lows are low, they're really low. When the highs are there, everybody will know the family has money. So we never had those conversations. And it became a source of conflict because she thinks you're being casual, but you're thinking this is life.
Yeah.
She hates seeing a reminder of there's a pending bill. That's not her. Is she a bad person? No. Am I a bad person? No. It's only that we come with a lot of baggage. So I keep telling people, before you do that, there's so many conversations you can have around money.
Yeah.
And black as it is, black is that obligation that you feel socially or family-wise, you need to take care of people. It is not a bad thing. It is not. Okay? Because it's to some people, it's a source of joy to see, and especially men, we love providing for our families.
Yeah.
And maybe the word tax makes it feel
it
negative.
feels
Obligatory.
bad. In fact, there's rumors, it has a connotation because the black workers in South Africa used to send money back home. So you see now it has a sense of not a very good origin.
Yeah.
But the whole idea is let's call it responsibility to our people. But now people end up doing what? Getting entitled.
Yeah.
People put expectations on the same. And that is why, to answer your question, there are so many things that people need to understand.
Yeah.
Get to understand how is the setup.
Yeah.
In an African setting, if you wanted to get married to someone, before you even bring your family, I'd get my good friend here. We've not told anybody we are going to that village. We go to the nearby village, we greet people. That way you'll be given information. What is the history? How do those people live? Do they always fighting? Are they, is there witchcraft?
Yeah.
So by the time,
actually.
so you have a bit of information.
Yeah.
Right now, find out, okay, does he have siblings? What age are they? What are you supporting? Who was the decision maker at home? So how does that, so that you see if things align. But most of us are falling in love.
So one of the things, you said it earlier, I'm just going to pull it back out, expectation. So you might understand the operations, right? You might understand the structure of the family, but you don't know the expectations unless you talk about it.
Yeah.
And those expectations, you may not even realize what those expectations are because you haven't talked about it with your family.
Exactly.
And so, aligning everybody's understanding of what's going to happen next feels like not just something you should be thinking about. It's an absolute necessity. And I'm just going to add one last thing. Clearly, I don't have to suffer from the black tax, but we have our own situation. and Amos and I, we were talking about this before, a white guy coming from New York, from the United States, we have the opposite where, hey, this isn't, it is isolation by choice.
Yeah.
We separate from our families in order to clear ourselves of responsibility. And that negative of not having the people that you might actually value in your life because you've separated, it's the flip side of this coin. So I think, on the one side there's obligation, on the other side there's nothing. Maybe it's independence. So there's got to be some kind of a balance between these things, right? Boundaries that you can set.
It's interesting because we even in our society there's a social imbalance. So you'll find. Let me give you an example of my dad. He's still strong. I came to realize that my dad, they're four siblings. So he was the one who was sharp. Okay, he's like me. I'm kidding.
Yeah, like him. You're like him.
Yeah. So what happened is that he got a chance to be educated because I think someone realized he was sharp.
Yeah.
So he quickly got through school and he went into a polytechnic. Now, then there was something used to be called Boom. Boom was more or less help.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they still pay because he claims they were getting money. So he used to spend that money, send money to my grandmother to do farming, educate us, and educate his last born brother because he was the second last guy. And then realizing that, because my grandmother claimed she fought for independence. She died a few years ago at 90 something, almost 100. And I came to realize that since that is what my father saw, even when he didn't have money, he would borrow. You get my point?
Yeah.
Because now the grandmother had put an expectation that this son I took through school must take care of
Me.
You get my point?
Yeah.
So all his life, and then he did not have a father. We never saw a grandfather. He died at independence. But now the challenge is there was no role modeling for my father.
Yeah.
So for him, it's just demands. Now when I look at him, because he never realized the culture he had was toxic, now he bled on us.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what parents do.
So when my sister went through college and my dad was in business, he was very casual because there's money coming in. So even my sister ended up paying rent. And now she has not fully recovered. I can see. So even some of us had to be very intentional because you realize you're even taking silly debts.
Yeah.
For no reason. Why? Because your father has okayed you going to a shop. I don't know if this may not have happened here in Africa, and I'm not embarrassing our African culture. So there was a local shop, a local grocery store, where you'd be, and the society knew the owner of the shop. So they would go there. There was a small book,
Ledger. Yeah.
ledger, not the ledger. This is a debt book,
Right.
yeah, where they have. They would send me to go pick milk and bread. One
They'll
will
pay
come
later.
And they'll write it
They'll
in.
write it down. Then end month you come and pay.
Yeah.
So what did that do to us? It is okay to borrow for consumption. You get, so you see the things we've been inheriting. It's until you're intentional, you're like, okay, this is not right.
Right.
So I like what you're saying. So people now grow up with expectation. Now I have to be very careful that now I am aware. Right now I'm supporting where I can. I'm supporting my parents. But now, even if I chose not to depend on my kids as a goal, it's still a goal.
Yeah.
So that now I take care of my retirement, then they can take care of themselves.
Yeah.
So that I break that curse.
So that's a huge part of this conversation, I think, which is bleeding onto your kids, the modeling that you've experienced as you grew up, maybe wanting to break the cycle, but also knowing that it's inherently part of the cycle. It's already in you.
Yeah.
So how are you managing those expectations? You have to make a conscious decision not to make your children responsible for your well-being as you get older.
Yeah. And I was telling a group of men, I'm very passionate about mentorship for men because I believe if men we make the right decisions, then all these noise will die down because we are taking responsibility. One of the things you've raised is very important, the expectations.
Yeah.
It is actually a strategy of handling black tax. Some of us are already too deep in it to say no.
Yes.
Okay,
no.
Yeah, sure.
Because now they will say mzazi atajikuna kitovu. You know what that means?
No.
They're gonna scratch their belly button because that's to relay a curse on you. No, I'm saying
Yeah, you are screwed, guys. I'm just saying. Belly button is all. You're done.
And some people are and it can be really toxic.
Yeah.
A while ago, I dealt with a friend of mine. We struggled as we did our marketing, and she came to me. She told me, "I think you can help me. You're the only person I can listen to who can give me sober advice." Of course, because we are not related, and because now that's my profession.
Yeah.
She told me she was working for an airline as a very junior officer. Then she got a promotion, and she had to go outside the country. I don't want to mention which airline. This is international airlines. So her income shot from I think 100,000 to 800,000. Now she made a mistake out of excitement to tell the parent.
Oh,
Yep.
Damn.
Let me tell you something. Are you ready for this? Anytime she dared go home, guys would follow her like she's a politician. Because parents borrowed money here. They made an obligation here. So they owed a lot of people money. So at some point she was spending over 200,000 sending to the parents. Now the worst thing is that now the parents started fighting over what she's sending.
Oh, geez.
Between themselves or with her as well?
What she's sending, like if she sends 200,000, then the mother needs this, so they're fighting over it.
Yeah.
Yet it's from the child, and the child just wants to be appreciative of the parents.
Right.
Do you know? One time, I told her, "Why don't you test this relationship?
Yeah.
Don't go with a car. Get into a bus. Go home with one bag. Tell them your job has been paused for like a year." The kind of insults she got from the mother.
Oh my goodness.
The dad kicked her out, told her, "You're useless. You've never gotten married." Yet she's working. She just decided to test the waters. You can imagine how heartbreaking that was.
Yeah.
This is traumatizing, that I'm only useful to you just because I can provide.
Right.
And that's the toxic side of black tax.
Yeah.
But I have also seen very beautiful stories that fathers, mothers come together. They tell these kids, "We have educated you. We don't have much. We've retired. But guide us." So I've seen guys set up businesses that are thriving, and the parents are there supporting, and they stopped asking them for money.
Yeah.
Because now it's a sense of responsibility. We've seen them, bless them.
Yeah.
This is where now you spit on your chest. No, that's a blessing. That's the opposite.
No, that's not a curse. That's a blessing.
Take the hand off the belly button.
Yeah,
Spit on your chest. No.
So it's so we, like you said, I agree with you. We have to strike a balance in saying, up to what level am I a blessing to my children?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the next thing I'm looking at is I being a burden.
Right.
Even as children, how can I be a blessing to my parents? And what is the boundary? Because now I might also raise the expectations.
Right.
So those are some of the things that people need to have boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're coming from a place where one, especially our parents and those before them didn't have money conversations, right? Like, I don't know if when you grew up, were you ever taught about money? I think when I was growing up, I was told, when you grow up, you learn the value of money, or you go to, you're sent to buy something and like, where's my change? And then you bring something that's totally different, and you don't value money. But I've not been taught about what that looks like what's saving, what's investments. If I get my money, this is what I expect from it. I mean, at least I see it in the West, from content online, that some people have started teaching the money. Like, if you give your child an allowance, one, you take out tax or rent, because you grow up, you get a job and you're like,
That's messed up.
the government is taking 30% of my hard-earned money. What? So I don't know. Growing up, did you guys have money conversations?
You told me you have a son, eh?
Yeah, I have three.
Three sons.
Three children, 2 sons, 1 daughter.
Yeah.
Do you know if you don't teach them something, they will observe?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, if you observe, you're a parent who's let me use a term that I've had people using. If you're nonchalant and you're casual about money, your son will observe. I was shocked at my last born. If he comes here and he sits here, he will sit exactly the way I'm seated. He walks like me. And that is why we have to be careful, especially men.
Yeah.
Because once you have a boy,
Those they model your
they
behavior.
model your behavior.
Yeah.
And on to you if you're not intentional about the money behavior.
Yeah.
So one of the things I'll say, I was not taught about money.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember about money is that it does not grow on trees.
Oh yeah, there was that too.
Clearly.
Growing trees. I think African parents all went to one school.
Yes.
Oh, the American ones too.
So we have to, and this is why this is a very important course I teach. A part of my training is personal financial audit, which includes you confronting your cultures, your behaviors, even your successes. Because some of us don't even know how we got successful.
Yeah.
We found a system that is working, but if
We
we
ran
audit,
with it.
we can't dare to start again because we
We're messed.
yeah,
we're
we
messed
messed
up.
up. So, like you're saying, not many lessons were taught to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think thank God we did business education in I think middle level primary.
Yeah.
Where we were told that this is an asset, this is a liability, this is credit, this is debit.
Yeah.
So small things, but really, and this is today's problem. I've seen on social media now we are confronting wahengas. Wahengas are the wise men from of old who used to have very interesting sayings.
Okay.
Imagine they're telling you for you to find something under the seat, you have to bend it. Mtaka cha mvunguni lazima
Sharti ya iname.
But now when you have a toddler, you just tell them go. So you're beating the matrix, But today's challenge is no longer about lack of information, because initially it used to be.
Yeah.
Sometimes it used to be lack of skill. That is why education was a primary thing. Every child had to go to school and it was a privilege.
Yeah.
Those were the 2 problems that financial literacy used to cover. But there are 2 additional problems. Our attitudes towards money and our behavior. And that is why you'll find today, if you dare open social media and just look for, let's say what, the other day I was looking for a watch.
Yeah.
In the next 1 month, the algorithm for
changes
it
completely.
is sending
Oh
you
my God.
adverts on.
Mine is literally immediate.
Yes.
Or the same thing.
Yes.
Like, that's a nice car. I'm not in the market for a car, but yet I'm getting
Immediately.
Toyota
Yes.
messages on my phone.
All exactly. And then our attitudes towards behavior, again, there's so much social pressure.
Yeah.
I think peer pressure is worse now than when we were growing up.
I
think it is.
On top of that, the peer pressure from your peers is one thing, but the pressure from everybody else on social media, whether it's I see someone who is like me and I want what they have.
Yes.
And so that's a pressure I'm going to apply to myself because I need to get what they have. Or people who are saying you don't have what they have, who are making comparisons. So there's this internal and external forces that are literally making us feel like we got to spend.
I agree. And I feel like the new luxury or the newest goal right now in finances is contentment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have, and I remember sometimes especially men, we get a lot of unnecessary pressure because we feel we need to prove something or we need to be somewhere. So I remember before COVID, that was COVID came to Kenya in 2020.
2020.
So 2019, my business was struggling. My wife lost a job and we had a crisis. That's a story for a different time. And then 2019, I was like, we can't afford this house.
We have to move.
You have to scale down. Guess my biggest worry was what?
What people will say.
What my son would say, because there are other dads who are driving big cars and now I've scaled down
Right.
to a smaller car. And we got a small house, and I was telling my son, hey, Papa, this may be small, but it's only for a small a short period.
Yeah.
And he told me one thing, which today I carry with me. He told me that it is small, but it means we'll be closer to each other.
Wise child.
Yet, when I was going for basketball, these youngsters were like, hey, Amos, umesota, you've gone broke. How are you even fitting in this small car? Yet the dude does not even have a driving license.
Oh my goodness.
They were quick to judge.
Yeah, quick to judge. That's when I realized that people who matter don't care.
No.
Yeah.
And people who
Those
care
who
don't matter.
don't
Right.
matter.
So I like what you're saying. So sometimes it's about finding contentment and saying, I'm ready for any season.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
I'm also a basketball coach, by the way. And I keep telling people, there will be wins, there will be losses. Okay, unless I'm playing, chances of losing are low. But the point is, okay, you missed a joke there. But the point is, you cannot, if you've given your very best,
Yeah.
and let's say it was not your day, because sometimes you will shoot bricks, my
Yeah,
friend.
you're gonna screw up.
Yeah. So you must be prepared. Yes, put up a fight. But if it's a loss and you've done your best, you've not failed, you've learned. Okay? So that's what I've come to learn, that even as you continue with this journey, prepare for a bad moment.
Yeah.
Prepare for a loss. If a loss is here, scale down.
Yeah.
But then nobody really cares.
Yeah. They really
Yeah,
don't.
you're the only one.
Yeah.
It's funny, just to go back to talking about what we learn about money for a moment. So I grew up single mom who was on welfare, which she made zero money. We got $300 a month from the state. Basically, every time the money came in, we would go out to eat. And then the rest of the month we would have very little. And that was what I learned, feast and famine. I learned feast and famine very young and carried that with me into my 20s. And the hard part of that is, and I know people experience this all the time. It's not just me. The hard part is when you are an adult responsible for your life and you're thinking about something like feast or famine, suddenly the money comes in and it goes out just as fast. And it doesn't have to if you actually think about what you're supposed to be doing. And so I think, the financial responsibility that isn't taught ends up probably affecting families even more when they're put into situations like the one you just described, where there is expectation coming from the community, from the older family, from the village, from all these other places. So on top of not having the education that you talked about, and that's not formal education, that is literally just repeating modeled behavior. Now you've got a whole bunch of other people ready for you to succeed, or devalue you if you don't.
Yeah.
I love that the concept of feast and famine, and I think that is what I think is not even a culture thing. It's how we've been built up. So it's more of a family culture.
Yeah.
Look at us here in Kenya. I remember there was a time we had like an extreme season of drought. You remember?
Yes.
Then all of a sudden the rains hit us, but Red Cross had actually paid for an advert for asking for relief. So it has rained for 2-3 days. It is flooding in some places. But you watch the news, they're advertising for it is dusty. People are, so I'm like, are we in the same country? So they had to bring it down, even if they had paid for it.
Yeah.
Because if it's extreme, it's extreme.
Yeah.
And I am one of those guys. So even when I got married, you realize when you're broke, you're really broke.
Yeah.
You don't even have
Man.
fuel.
Yeah.
In fact, there was a time, I hope my wife does not watch this. There was a time I'm realizing my car does not have fuel.
Yeah.
And ladies, when it's half empty, I need to refuel.
I am so like that.
When the light is orange for dudes, is like, I know my car.
Yeah. It will get me there. It will get me there.
Yeah, so I realized this car does not have fuel, and her is always half. So I'm like, I've seen your tires are not nice. Let me go with my car. Let me fix your tires, because I knew she's gonna fuel mine. You get so
Oh my
we have
goodness.
been there, and every man who now understands that they're there, self-actualization and understanding your situation is very important.
Yeah.
Now you can be able to apply. You may not change now,
Right.
but you can be able to apply one or two strategies that can be able to get you out of it. One of the things I used to do, that when there's money, prepayments worked for me very well.
Yeah.
So if it's now you have done some gig here, even if it's not full school fees, January is coming. People are assuming it's far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do even a 10% deposit.
Yeah.
Once you catch the momentum, even the small monies, the 5,000, 2,000, you see, it looks like small money.
Yeah.
Because once you do the prepayments, now you remove the disposable cash.
Yeah.
So now you'll not be having a problem of
Yeah.
scarcity because now you have done a storage in advance, and that has really worked well for me, because at the end of the day, we also need to respect this, not per se small money, but respecting money. I was telling someone, if today, right now, I chose to buy you lunch, okay, and that's peradventure.
Thanks,
if I buy
man.
you lunch, and for some reason I forget. And in the evening, I'm like, okay, let me send each of my 2 new friends 2,000 bob.
Amen.
Yeah.
Please do.
And then it happens that she's in that space. She's doing very well. And she's done a business. So she has like 70K on her M-Pesa or whichever platform you use. So chances of feeling my 2,000 are very low.
Low. Yeah.
But let's find my good friend. So assuming you're Kamau, you've been working, you've not been paid, you get to the house and KPLC tokens finish, go out at that particular point. So in darkness, and you don't have any other money, including a digital loan.
Yeah.
Then I send you the 2,000.
You saved my life.
It's a miracle, right? Yet it's the same amount. Why?
Yeah.
Because one has been attached to a need.
Right.
So for those of us who know the feast
And family.
And
and
famine.
famine, please make a habit of doing prepayments. Because the biggest enemy right now is disposable cash. Get rid of that disposable cash. Stay broke for a good reason.
Yeah.
Because either it's gonna end. So I like
Right.
the concept you brought up.
I actually have, I guess I would call it a kind of selfish question, because it's tied to knowledge that is of experience, right? You talk about prepayments, and I think for salaried people, it's easier to budget and to know my money comes in at the end of every month, whether or not I have worked hard. Let's say, as long as I show up to the office,
Okay.
I'm on
you
payroll.
better have put your money
Oh,
in.
yeah.
No.
I'm expecting my money as long as you guys have not fired me, right?
Yeah.
And I get it. I know there's rent, there's electricity, there's not necessarily need for prepayment, but I know by the time I get my 100,000, for example, 30,000 will go to this. Da 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 da. The flip side is people in the gig economy, right? My money comes in, I have a gig, one here, and maybe in 2 weeks, nothing, dry, and then another gig, da 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 da. Is then, if I'm in the gig economy, how does that budgeting look like? In terms of, okay, so I have seasons of, feast and seasons of famine, and how do I plan for the famine well in advance that I can still enjoy, but my budget is not linear like someone who's salaried, for example.
Okay. I think I've been in both. I've been employed where I'm waiting for that fat salary to come in, but let me also, you've spoken from a point of your perspective. Probably there are many personalities. Huh?
Yeah.
There are people who are hoarders, there are people who are spenders, there are money monks and avoiders.
Yeah.
So the last two are seasonal. But now you'll find they are spenders, even who are employed. Today is what date? Today is
The 19th.
19th. You'll find there are people by 10th, they are broke. And they were paid
Very
on
true.
30th. Yeah. They have too much month at the end of the money. It happens.
Yeah.
And you'll find such people, even their budget cannot work the same way for someone who looks organized as you, who's a hoarder, who can actually say, I know I cannot spend more than this. Some of us don't know it like that. As long as there is money, in fact, there's a saying that spenders, they normally say that if we're in one room, me and money, one of us must leave. we
can be in a room together.
There's a psychology, though, about, and I hate to say it, but sometimes people just want to look rich.
Yeah.
And so they'll spend even when they don't have it, because if they look rich, then clearly the perception is they're succeeding. And that's as important as actually succeeding.
Yes. It's very important. And that's why I keep telling people, just because you can pay for it
Yeah.
doesn't mean you can afford it.
Right.
True. Wealth is the definition of wealth is the ability to have, not having.
Yes.
It's the ability to have. Like I might not have a car, but if I want to, I can buy a car.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm wealthy because it's a choice that I don't have it. It's not that I can't.
Right.
I just choose to not have it. Right?
Yeah, so it is, so there's various determinants of how you can behave, because some of us are spenders, but we've been in both environment. One of the things that there's, like, it's a whole chapter, but also managing the relationships you have. My wife is employed.
Yep.
I'm that person you're talking about, gig. So they're highs, like really highs. And one of the things you do is know your limits, especially if you're a spender.
Yeah.
Know that my spending life can only be managed by this source of income.
Yeah.
Are we together? I coach professionally and I have an allowance for that, so I've put that for fuel. Are we together? So I'm not touching the main incomes coming from other areas.
Yeah.
And then also, if you have a partner who's not like, also selection of a partner is very important. Huh?
Yeah.
That is actually a determinant of your financial success, true.
That's true.
So if you have a partner who understands, let them also manage so that now your responsibility is reduced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that now you're not thinking of the bills being paid. You know that person is managing whatever is there.
Yeah.
I learned this from a guy who married a very young wife. He had schooled outside, so he came. He was a banker, and he was earning more or less peanuts.
Yeah.
He married his wife, and then she used to like, okay, you're not buying this. So he's like, okay, I only need bus fare. Okay, so I need this. So I'm going to put you as a signatory. That time there were no ATMs. I'm going to put you as a signatory so that even if I travel, you can access the bank. The guy traveled for a month and he came back. She was like, wait, how do you manage with this money? Oh, now he's teaching her a sense of ownership.
Yeah.
Because if you're not teaching a sense of ownership, you're teaching a sense of entitlement.
Yeah.
So let me tell you something. Even when the guy got promoted and he left, he just used to take what he needs and the wife is managing. She managed. She's like, okay, I think now I can go back to school because we given. She went to school, managed. Many years later, the guy has retired. You remember the allowance he used to take?
Yeah.
He has his pension, but the wife from her income gives the guy your allowance.
Wow.
And he's free. That's financial freedom.
Yeah, that's freedom.
That is if you trust that person you're with.
Yeah.
So this guy was telling us, you guys are carrying all this baggage for nothing. In fact, I've told my wife, please stop sending more money. I've not finished what I have.
Yeah.
Okay? Because they build a relationship whereby they have known who's stronger in what area. So if you're in gig economy, okay, I don't know, most partners nowadays are not trusting each other. Speaking money in the house is a taboo.
Yep.
So those are some of the things you can be able to do. Again, like I said, prepayments work very well.
Yeah.
Do prepayments in advance. Set aside, lock your savings. Like, right now, most banks are offering call-up capital. If you know I don't need this money, I've paid my bills, can I lock it for 3 months, 6 months? They'll give you a little interest.
Yeah.
But it's also called so that you...
And it's actually better interest than we have in the US. So
Yeah. Of course, in that area, we are doing better. Have you seen last year, I saw treasury bills and bonds were going up to 18%.
it's crazy.
Yes.
What ROI, return on investment that is.
Yeah.
But Emma, there's something something you said in your story sparked an idea. So you talked about in this story that this guy taught his wife the value of the money that they were having and this process of managing expectation as much as managing the finances.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you teach your family?
Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting. And I've come to appreciate, again, comparison can actually mess you up.
Yes, it can.
You have to deal with your family as is.
Yeah.
And money conversations, I've been asked if I talk about money and kids and how to teach kids a little, 1 or 2 lessons. I've realized that kids, I used to be a Sunday school teacher. That simplicity.
You've been busy. You have a basketball, Sunday school, financial.
Yep.
Yeah. And one of the pastors shared this, or when we are having the Sunday school teachers meeting, that every time she'd go see her nieces, she would pick them, go to a mall, and they should spend money. So one time she realized, hey, I don't have much money.
Yeah.
So she told them, listen, guys, I'm giving you each this equal amount of money. So once you finish your money, we go home. The little angels were busy negotiating. Can I pay 100 instead of 200? They came back with change.
Wow.
Why? Because they knew they would go another time. Yet she used to spend much more than she gave them that day. And then when she realized, now she has taught them a sense of ownership.
Yes.
It is my money. Okay?
Yeah.
So even as you teach your kids, that should be the goal. And also, very importantly, don't teach them the price of things.
Yep.
Teach them the value of things. Okay? So even when you take something, like now, I when I get to the supermarket, I allow them to pick what they want. And then they must tell me why. You get my point? I want to know why. What experience is it going to give you? So I realized, the way you want to impress your child, you want to take them for ice cream in big places. Let them make the choices, because now it's a responsibility for them. I would shock you. My son, elder son, loves, that simple strawberry mix of vanilla ice cream cup.
That's it.
He's like,
Not
this is
Cold
what
Stone.
I like.
Yeah.
Not Cold Stone. Yeah. You get my point? So also sometimes we want to impress, and I've seen this even with situations where, families now are being affected. There's a lot of separation, divorce.
Yeah.
So you'll find that when one parent has gotten the kids, they have access. Now, right now, they want to go out of their way to impress the kids. So you're going way out of your budget. Yet a child's heart is very simple.
Yeah.
Sometimes a child wants to just come and sit on your lap and tell you, Daddy, thanks, let's watch a cartoon.
Yeah. And you don't need to buy them that Lego set that's 10,000 shillings
10,000.
when, they're sitting in your lap, put on a Kelly TV, spend an hour together.
Yes.
And that's worth way more.
Yeah. So the biggest lesson for me, I've come to learn, is to just listen to how much these kids know. Listen to their desires. Okay? Because that way now you can be able to fund. Are we together? And they see you have taken time to know their needs, just like a normal client.
Yeah.
But majority of us want to throw in money, we want to throw in gifts, but they don't really need them.
Yeah.
So when I sit down and my son tells me, hey, Daddy, the small one with his serious accent, he'll be like, can we go and buy, no, not buy, can we go get bump cars? So what did I think that time? I'm going all the way to, it's called what, the river, go karting. We went, they refused.
Oh my goodness.
Then I was like, what is this bump cars? So we Googled. They were down here at former railways, the bus stop, before they demolished.
Right.
Yeah.
I paid 200 bob.
Oh my
You
goodness.
should have seen the dude.
He was so happy.
He loved it.
He was happy. He was going you get my point? So that's the first thing. Then let them know the price of things.
Yeah.
Okay? So for the sake of budgeting, okay? The other day we were buying bread, and I was like, dude, how much is a loaf of bread? Then he told me, I don't know. I asked him, but you're the one who eats. Personally, I don't like bread. Then he's like, but you're the one who buys.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So as I conclude to answer your question, children I've learned, this is from the same pastor. He told us children are adults in small bodies.
Yep.
Do not underrate them. They know a lot. Try to see how you can help grow their thinking, because at the end of the day, you know they will outgrow us.
Yeah.
They will outsmart us.
Yeah.
They
So
probably already have
Yes,
outsmarted
yes.
us.
And let's not try to limit them to the knowledge we have.
Yeah.
And that is why even as a coach, I don't tell people what to do. I sit down, analyze the situation, help you look at the areas you need to adjust and make decisions by yourself.
Blind spots.
Yeah. When it comes to just setting boundaries, and I think boundaries might actually be a whole conversation on its own, because
It will be.
Yeah, because people find it hard to set boundaries even for themselves.
We
Even
actually have a book here.
on boundaries. Oh yeah, good boundaries and goodbyes. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So if you can't, for example, set boundaries for yourself, then how can you set boundaries for your family, for example?
Boundaries are incredibly difficult
Yeah.
to understand, let alone set.
And because you're I don't think we've also been taught how to say no. Like when you're a kid and someone tells you no, and you can see, like, even parents at a supermarket, and you tell the kid no, they throw a fit. They're bringing everything down the shelf. They are crying and making a scene.
Let's hope you don't have that child.
Oh my goodness, God forbid, And then they're there, and you'll be like, okay, because you've thrown a tantrum, pick anything you want. I don't want this shame, for example. You unaniaibisha.
How would you respond to that? Because I just heard, you threw a tantrum. I don't like it. Pick anything you want.
Yeah.
How would you respond to that, Amos?
I don't know. I have a very strong partner when it comes to raising boys. So we've never fought over raising the kids.
Okay.
And it starts with when they're young. If the kid is more than a year, we were like, no, dude, you can't be in our bedroom.
Good call.
You make your emotions. My face is plain. I'm just looking at you. You want to cry? Okay, go ahead, cry.
Yeah.
Eyeball to eyeball. So we did that to our firstborn, and we realized the guy cried for almost. And then when you look at him, you're like, okay, are you okay? Is there anything wrong? Okay, sit. Then he could cry. Then he started sitting and crying while seated. We only trained him for one day. All the other days, and you're like, hey, dude, you're not crying. You get, and he got used to it. So even by the time the bro was coming, at 8 months, he was there. And boundaries, I like what you're saying. Boundaries can be very tricky. Think about it. I bought a piece of land way back, somewhere in Thika, and it was a coffee farm. But there was a road that people used to use to go to their village. So they were cutting through, and it looked like a real
land
road until it was subdivided. And my piece of land had covered part of the road. So the day for putting the poles to fence it, that part that people are walking on was the most difficult because it was so hard. In fact, I had to pay extra. Why? Because the road, they said that was the road.
Is a road.
But what if I had put up that before the road was done?
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been as difficult.
Yeah.
And let's always remember that boundaries, even when you want to fence a piece of land, it's not easy. You will find kids that had a whole playground. That part of your land was their playground. Okay? And that is the problem we have today as an economy. When you find a nation where 70, 60% are below, let me call it average income.
Yeah.
They tend to compromise on everything. That is where you'll find a lot of contraband. You'll find people are compromising on safety.
Yeah.
You'll find just because a boda guy needs to get to a place fast so that he makes more money, he's risking his life. Cutting everywhere. And that's what normally happens when we lack boundaries. So even financially, there are things, they are painful. But it starts on a small, very small. I keep telling people right now, because people are traveling to their villages, okay? This is the time you start to have a conversation that sounds like, okay, let me reduce expectations of these people.
Yeah.
I told people, right now when you go home and you know the next day is going to be tough, take a walk with your dad, take a walk with your mom. Tell them, hey, I don't know, you pray for me. That's how you start. I need you to pray for me.
Set the pace.
Yeah, because next day is going to be tough. Things have come up. My disposable income is going to reduce a lot. I may not even be, what I send you may not be sustainable. So you see, now you're beginning to reduce their expectations. Okay? Don't give them details.
And don't show up in a Mercedes when you do
Of
that.
course. Don't show up in a Mercedes. In fact, ask one of your siblings to give you a lift. So that they start
Drop me off with
reading the
one
room.
bag,
Yeah. So ask your siblings, hey, and even post on the group, hey guys, hey, me, I'm not in a position. Can any of you pick me up? This is how you start to also audit the relationship you have with your people. Because people, I learned this the hard way. There were decisions that were not being made without my consultation. But when things hit rock bottom, you're realizing, oh, things have moved. So someone told us, and there was I don't know how true that story is, but it made sense just by the story. The legitimacy we will audit later. So apparently there was this couple in a village. They loved each other. Like they were the talk of town. They used to go to church. They have a beautiful family. So the wife died. And unfortunately, during the day of the burial, the guy was so hurt. He jumped into the grave before they started bringing down the soil. So the guy said, I am being buried with my wife. And a burial that was supposed to end at midday, now it's 4:00. He's refused to come out.
Shit.
And then that, those old drunkard from the village, an old guy drinking, and he's coming to eat because he knows there's a burial.
There's food.
Then he's asking, guys, what's happening? Why are people not eating? Then he's told the widow has refused to exit. He says he should be buried. Then he's like, that's the only problem. So he picked a shovel.
Bury him.
He said, throwing.
Yeah.
Darts at him.
Came out pretty
the guy
quick
jumped
after that.
out and guys clapped and he was buried. So the moral of the story is nobody will be buried with you. Nobody. The day you die, yours is gone.
Yeah.
And people will survive.
Yeah.
Are we together?
Yeah.
If you're a dude and you've been supporting people, after you've been buried, people will be by your side, either drinking a shot of something and discussing politics.
Yeah.
Okay? Your kids will move on. They have healed. They've gone through counseling.
Yeah.
Your wife will be watching movies that are encouraging her, and she'll move on. So one of the things I normally say, isolate. Remove yourself and assume you're in the skies. So how will these people survive?
Yeah.
And start planning them. Yeah.
Teach them to fish.
Yeah.
Don't give them fish. But I think without knowing, black tax gives us a savior mentality. You want to save them. You want to save your family. It's either from the shame of, if, for example, your parents lose a job, they have to downscale. No, my parents, oh my God, what will the neighbors think? Let me pay their rent because I can. So you're paying your rent and their rent, right? And it's not that you're changing that, I'll move back home so that I don't have to pay my rent. And the money I used, I will pay our rent. But it gives us a savior mentality for, okay, it's on me now, but yet they can survive, right? And then now we don't want to imagine, okay, now what if I don't have? So you're doing it also based on fear. Like you're leading with fear and you're doing all this based off of fear. And now I'm the savior. And I think it's because when you start out, even in your career, and you're sending money home and you're giving your parents money, it feels good till it starts feeling like an obligation. Until you get to a point where, okay, I must because I have. So, and it's also them, there's that expectation and it's unspoken.
Is there a part of that is related to gratitude? Because if I'm giving someone money and I got gratitude at first, but then it turns into expectation, that's when my feeling changes. If there's gratitude and appreciation, I will continue as long as I can, especially, and not because I want to be a savior, but because that gratitude gives me a good feeling also.
Yeah.
So I wonder what part, and we didn't talk about it at all, but what your perspective is. Is there gratitude or is it?
I like that. I like the emotional side of money that you mentioned, that my family cannot be there. But I like there's I think someone has written a book. It's called Toxic Charity. You've heard of that?
Yeah.
Whereby if today I give you something, you'll appreciate.
Right.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I come, you're expecting it.
Yeah.
By the time I'm doing it the 5th time, you're already entitled.
Yeah.
It's advancing.
Yeah.
And this happens to everybody. That's why you find everybody who provides or supports something, and that's what happens to our politicians. There's nowhere in this part of the country where a politician will go and not be expected to leave money.
Yeah.
Because now people are now entitled.
Yeah.
Okay? Go to this part of the city. You're parking nicely. You have your cameras. You have side mirrors. You can sing properly in town. But then a guy comes. Hapo. And you are seeing clearly. If anything is affecting your senses, because the sensors are like
you're confusing me.
you get my point. But the moment you park, the guy tells you it is okay.
Yeah.
So they're expecting, you feel entitled. And yet it is not their parking.
Yeah.
You're doing it out of appreciation, like, okay.
It's
thank
really
you.
not the parking.
Yeah. So the biggest challenge here is, like you're saying, it has to be an internal thing. And I must say this, that most of us are struggling with identity. And now we allow other things to define who we are.
Yes.
There's something called borrowed confidence. That is, your ability to provide for people is what defines who you are. And this happens a lot to spenders. And this affects men the most. And that is where you'll find a guy who's providing, or if we appear somewhere and we are all dudes, we'll be talking about our successes. Nobody talks about their failures. Are we together? But ladies can go and cry. I'm going through things. They'll cry. They will share. They don't have a solution.
Yeah.
But they will cry and talk about. And that's why probably they live longer. Because they're emotionally stable than we are. Us, we are more objective. We are talking about solutions.
Yeah.
We want to balance this. So you'll find if a man no longer can provide, that kills him. Because remember, even that was the curse that was bestowed on us, that we are going to till the land. You get, and you guys are going to nurture.
I'm feeling a belly button that needs to be scratched.
You get my point. So men, we allow that. So it destroys us when we can't provide. And now we can't talk about it. And that is where you'll find a broke man will always be an avoider.
Yeah.
Avoid conversations. It's a difficult one to have in marriage. When a guy is broke, when men are organizing something, they will look very busy. They will not say, I can't afford. They will be very busy. So one of the things I tell men, speak up. It is okay to repeat. Even if you have a girlfriend, one of the things I tell men to say, repeat after me, I cannot afford for now.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah, for now. Yeah.
There's a funny saying that I like to think about, which is the word fiance, which is actually has a basis in finance. I'm someone I'm financing.
Yeah.
I am marrying someone I'll be right now I'm financing. Now she's my wife. And I think that even as a man, we often fall into that predictability that I am responsible for the well-being of my family. But something you said earlier that really I think a lot of men have a difficult time with is their partner can earn also. And they don't necessarily share that responsibility or the burden with their partners because they were taught that they are responsible.
Yeah.
And in fact, there are even cases where some men are threatened by their partner who can earn what they can or more. I think that should be celebrated. But I think that, the perspective that we're a team now, not I'm financing you and now I will be responsible for you for the rest of your life. Like that, those things have to change too.
It's true. And that's why it's important for people who are getting married to have these conversations.
Yeah.
Because I've had these debates where I've been called to talk about, so should couples have a joint account?
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
There's a difference between doing things together and doing things in agreement. And I think what is important is doing things in agreement.
Elaborate a little bit more though on what's the definition.
You see, you can get married. You can get married to someone and say, let's have a joint account.
Yeah.
Okay. But remember, let me give you a scenario of myself and my wife. She's had a good background and there is stability. Whether there's plenty, there's still stability. That means excess storage and there's no famine.
Yeah.
Are we together?
Yeah.
So if you realize that you have a partner like that, then that account will suffer.
Mm.
You understand? In case that delay, this guy will spend. Let me say it's me. I'll mess up.
Yeah.
Okay. So the joint account might actually be a source of conflict.
Yeah.
Okay, because there's no clear path. And then number 2, do we have a clear goal we are working towards? So that even if we have a joint account, we are quickly signing checks to go to a project that we need to do. Okay, because again, if you're just, I keep telling people, if you're not saving for any reason, just eat the money, because it's going to be a source of pain.
Yeah.
Because now it's here and we don't know what to do with it. And that's what happens when people inherit and they are not ready. Everything is lost. So you must be able to balance. And now when you do things in agreement, we are like, okay, you're stronger in this area. I'm stronger in sourcing the investment.
Yeah.
But I'm the spender. So
Yeah.
I can source the investments. You manage and ask all the relevant questions. We're in agreement. Are we together?
Yeah.
We have decided now, let's do a fast house. But now, are we going to put all this money to a dead asset? Okay. Can we do this? Okay, let's build, let's move in, but we put it on sale without being in a hurry for double the amount. Okay. Are we in agreement? Fine. Then we go in, I'm looking for the market, we sell it, we build another one, we stay, we have capital to invest. Now, those are goals that couples should be discussing so that there is no gray area.
Right.
Okay, we have parents. One of us or them is unwell. So what do we do? Do we get the medical cover or do we pay the bill as it comes? So that there's no pressure.
That's a joint decision,
Yes.
not a joint account.
Yeah, exactly. So agreement is very, very important. So that you're now thinking, okay, in case of this, we agree. In case there's a loss in family or our friends, we have a budget for giving out.
Yeah.
So how much do we have as a budget for giving out? So if we have 10,000 and we have, and that's why for me I tell people, split your giving budget into weekly. So that if there's a loss during the week, you're analyzing. So if you're supposed to give 3,000 and there are 3 losses, each 1,000. Depending again on the relationships. Nowadays, I see people contacting me after 3-4 years. I've lost so and so, and I'm like, dude, you don't even know where I've been for 3 years. So, but if they are close people, now you can allocate.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's very important for us to demystify that. That is not just about doing things together. Yes, you can do it together because probably you're united in that. But most importantly, doing things in agreement. Dream together. Have financial romance.
Yeah.
Whereby I'm telling you, hey, right now I'm anxious about my job. I don't know. This season of business is tough. So this person is able to be prepared to cover you during that time. You're together. So these are conversations that people should be having.
Are you a spender?
I'm a spender.
Yeah.
Yeah, a very good one.
I'm me too, man. See, I'm spending.
Man.
Oh my God.
And for spenders, we allow things. It gives us a lot of joy when you see your family. I'm those guys who will walk around and see an outfit. I'm like, that's my wife's size.
Yeah.
So sometimes she'll be like,
That's
no,
me too.
Yeah. Don't buy. Or my kids, it's interesting. And then now people around you know that you're a spender. So this guy who will always be send me photos of shoes is like, hey, these Jordans would be fit, and he knows my kid's name. You'll see it fit so and so. I've sent them to you. And me, I'm like, okay, but you have to wait for payment.
Yeah.
Then he came down. I told him, wait for in the next 2 weeks. So he's realizing this guy is delaying with
You're
my
not
payment.
doing
So
it.
I'll not be sending it.
Yeah.
So you also have to manage people who think they can manage.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So as we just kind of wrap up the conversations, right? How do we shift the culture from dependency to empowerment and just break that cycle, And this is for parents. This is between couples. This is with children. How do you just shift that culture and break away from dependency? And now it's empowerment.
It's a tough one, but I'll just see what I can say has been working for me. Because there's a book called The Psychology of Money. I don't know if you've read that.
Yep.
And the first chapter talks about no one is an idiot.
Yeah.
Like everybody knows what to do with their money.
Yeah.
Around Junction, there was a guy who used to be, I think he's 6'4". But there was this cold morning and he had tattered clothes. And I was taking my coffee and my boiled maize, you call it corn. So, and my window was like 3/4 closed. So I knew he stalled. So I was about to eat my maize. He was here. He's like, "Uncle, give me 20 shillings." And he was hungry and this thing was hot and it was cold. So I told him, "Okay, take this and eat." Like a 50 bob, I'm like, "First eat that one." And he did something very interesting. He went and sat in a small makeshift just by the side of the road. He broke the corn into two, the maize, folded one piece and put it in his inner jacket and started eating the other half. So this is a person who we think his faculties are not working, but this is a guy who knows there is tomorrow.
Yeah.
There is later. So even those people that we want to write off in our families, given a chance, and they are the sole decision makers,
Yep.
they will make good decisions. Don't try and force your situation or your solutions on them. Sometimes I stopped carrying cash when I go see my cousins in the village. I go do things, random things. I went and planted avocado trees and carried a few. So what they've been doing is also seeing how they can get the cuttings and put them in their shamba. Then I realized because it's Nyaururu, people just do maize and viazis, which take forever to give them a return. A friend of mine from Kisii gave me the cuttings for sweet potatoes. It's a different breed from what they plant there. They are bigger, they're faster. I went and planted. So I was told, my mom was telling me, "Your cousins are stealing your..." I was like, now they have planted, now they have food.
Yeah.
Are we together?
Yeah.
So sometimes people are not idiots. We cannot write off people.
Yeah.
Because that's the biggest asset we have as a nation. So again, believe that these people can do without you. And then now reduce the expectations.
Yeah.
Okay? Set boundaries. And then over time, if you want to start a project, don't come with your own ideas.
Yeah.
See what works for them.
Yeah.
And let them own them.
It's very clever. It's the teaching them to fish. I imagine if I had that situation, I'm making up a story that my partner and I would agree on money that we can afford to put aside together for us to be able to ship off, and maybe cut that in half and put half of it into some sort of a savings vehicle.
Yeah.
Because stuff happens all the time, and it'd be wonderful to be able to have backup that doesn't require us to deplete our finances in order to support family back home. So that's a strategy I would immediately went to, because we're men, we're problem solvers. And I'm like, dude, how do we protect, but still manage the expectation without seeming like we're trying to avoid responsibility?
I like that because that's on a positive side, because that's those are the people who are now in it extremely, and not just depleting resources. Sometimes you go into the negative because people are borrowing.
Yeah.
I've seen people borrow. Man, you're borrowing for you to maintain a status as a family. But I've also saying now on the positive, so that it is not affecting your financial well-being, like he's saying. Set up a private investment. Get covers. Get covers behind. Right now, I see everybody now is having what do you call it? A burial cover.
Yeah.
As siblings agree, all of us are covering our parents, so that if a crisis happens, we are not not telling people we have, okay, if it's 200, we have 1 million here. Okay, we're going to use this for the burial. The surviving parent, please take this, improve on something, start a business.
Right.
So that now it's not a burden on one person.
Yeah.
It's such a blessing to help people. For me, tomorrow is today's 19th.
18th.
Tomorrow is Men's International Day.
Is it?
Yes.
All right.
Spreading love. So
we'll come back for this.
Yeah, we'll do the same. And one of the things I decided to do this month is randomly bless a man.
Yeah.
So I was walking to a supermarket. I was hungry. I saw a Boda guy. I was like, "Hey, dude, how are you? What's your name?" Like, "Join me for lunch." The guy's like, "Huh?"
Complete stranger.
Yeah.
He's like, "No." Because we are not used to, unless it's a corn, we are not used to. You get my point?
Yeah.
And he was so shocked. I told him, "No, you're the one picking. I'm not touching your food. Pick your food. I pay. If you want to sit with me, that's fine. If you want to..." Then he went and sat with Buddha guys, and then they were like, "Okay." Then when I was walking, they were looking at me. And I was like, "Hi guys, nothing personal. It's men's month."
And you weren't doing it for TikTok likes.
No, I did not even record it. Yeah, I did the same. I think was it the day before yesterday. A matatu guy was so polite, parked, and we were in traffic. I was like, "Dude, how are you?" He was, "I'm there." I told him, "Can I send you something?" He's like, "Why?" "No, we are celebrating men this month." "Oh, there's a month for men. There's a day for men." Apparently, it's also World's Toilet Day. So, and I sent him something on his phone, and he called me and he told me, "You are such a blessing." And I rarely get gifts from men. So, like you're saying, men, we are not used to receiving. All the time you're thinking of giving. And that's a problem because now it allows us to think like that is what is defining us. So even as you think solutions, it is very good to be a blessing to your father, to your mom, that now you're appreciating the kind of work they've done. So look for ways, cover savings, like you're saving in investment, even as a family. Every year, if it's your father's birthday, contribute something. Tell them, send them somewhere as parents,
Yeah.
Because we don't have much time. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
We don't have much time with the people we're supporting.
We don't have much time. Yeah. A friend of mine's wife said, we have less time now at our age than we had in the first half. Celebrate every birthday. So I was like, "Oh, it's my birthday. I'm not going to do anything." She's like, "Why? You need to celebrate your birthday because you have less of them left than you had." And I was like, "Oh, you're right." And so I did, and I made a big deal out of it, and it felt great. And I think that's the other thing. We minimize things that are important to us because conceptually we're like, I don't need that. I'm a guy. I don't need that. I'm okay. I'm old. I don't need it. And she's like, no, you need to step up.
I'm taking that with me. That's true. We are the concept of the forest. If you enter the forest, the unfortunate thing is that you don't know when you're in the middle of it.
Right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You don't know if you're halfway.
Yeah.
And that's life.
Yeah.
You could be 20, but we've seen 20-year-olds go.
Right. Easily.
Easily. You could be blessed like the former prime minister, you die at 80.
Yeah.
So we don't know where the half is. And I like that. We may be having less birthdays than we have celebrated. Wow. That one I'm taking it with me today.
I don't think we can exhaust this conversation, honestly. I actually don't think we can ever exhaust money conversations.
No.
I don't think that's possible. So maybe we'll have a part 2 for this.
Well, I think definitely we should have Amos back.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that there's several other dimensions to you, my friend.
Too.
Like, the whole father side. So we are having an upcoming conversation around fatherhood. I do think it's something that's important for us to, understand what it means to be a man, understand what it means to be a father, also understand what it means to be a dad, because they're very different, father and dad.
You remind me of that friend of mine in Australia. He's called Wayne Taylor. He used to be, we met, I hosted him in Kenya when we were having a conference. At that time I was not married, and we began sharing, and we realized, unfortunately, and this is going to be controversial, there are very few platforms for men, and especially with all these expectations where men can be themselves.
Yeah.
So we used to be in a similar church, a sister church there. But then we realized there are no platforms that men can be real. Do you know what he started doing? He was going to local pubs. Because that's where genuine conversations are.
The genuine conversations
whatever they're
are.
drinking, take his coffee, listen. He's not preaching Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
He's not talking about women.
Yeah.
He's not talking about business. And he was like, okay, how are you guys doing? And that has become the biggest movement in Australia. It's called Average Joe's. And we launched it here.
Amazing.
Sorry to say, we said no excuses. Okay? No BS. And the other thing is that we have to be real. And this thing has seen men like being themselves. Being or taking their space. Because if men were to take their space in our society, I'm telling you, we would not be having all these campaigns, stop GBV, because we know what we are doing.
Yeah.
But now everybody's crying. The women are crying. The children are crying. The nation is crying.
It's crying. Yeah.
You know, it's such an unfortunate thing.
Yeah.
So I'd love to be part of that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It would
Thank
be
you
great.
so much, Amos. I think we always are learning, and learning never stops.
Yeah.
So these were amazing conversations.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure. You guys are doing a good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for having me.
Do your kids watch Akili TV?
You're asking me if the Pope is Catholic?
Oh my
Does
goodness.
a bear? No. Sorry.
Yeah, but thank you so much. But just a reminder that to everybody watching this, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
As long as you prepare.
Do you want to plug your podcast for a second? Because we got a few people here.
Oh yeah, we have first of all, thank you.
Yeah.
We are in all platforms. But my biggest platform is Money Gossip on TikTok. Instagram is Money Clinic. The links are on for the YouTuber in both pages. It's called Podcash Africa by Money Gossip.
Nice.
Yeah.
We'll make sure to include that in the links on our stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's learn. Like you said, we may not capture all this, but I think my parting shot would be just be intentional.
Yeah.
Every day, take 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
Evaluate either your spending for last month, evaluating your culture. That way, you're able to be more aware and you can make very sober decisions.
I like that you've said that, and I know we're out of time, but being intentional is a recurrent theme in all these conversations, be it parenting, be it money, be it child's mental health, be it social media. It's just the intentionality is really, really important.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Exactly.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Thanks again.
Thank you so much.